So, I think it's time. Yeah. I knew that this day was going to come in which I was going to have to do Seth Wooster. This has actually kind of been building because ever since the first one with Sunny, then David, then Xander. No, I think it's kind of been building, and Seth has watched them, and he's like, "Dude, when are you gonna do mine?" Okay, and so I've been kind of just waiting. I've been enjoying that time of him being like, "Dude, if you don't make mine next week, I'm going to kill you." And he hasn't killed me yet, but I'm pretty sure if I wait any longer, he would. So for all sake of safety, I think I'm gonna go ahead and to get to know Seth, you in a way you really have to meet him and you have to understand. I think I have over the years learned and studied Seth probably more than he has actually learned about himself. He has the funniest way of eating food. If he's eating a sandwich or a bone of chicken, his eyeballs will like bulge out. It's like it looks almost painful to actually, not to watch, but it looks painful on his part to actually be eating. I'm like, Seth, are you okay, buddy? He's like, what? I'm just enjoying this delicious rotisserie chicken. Seth. No words, man, no words. This is okay, let me, I think what I'll do is I'll explain Seth in story. To just explain him would be incredibly hard, so I'm gonna give you some stories of Seth and me, of Seth. The most recent one was we were shooting Game of Thrones, behind the scenes. This happened. We were doing some takes. One of our other friends had an axe. He will remain nameless, and he took a swing at Seth, and Seth caught it with his leg. And I believe it's like somewhere right here, you know, on his shin. You see the very last part of the fight scene. We had to make Seth's fight scene very short because his leg was like, he was in agony at that point, but he just held it really, really well. And I think the person who has believed most in my videos has to be Seth, who has believed most in me, and that, you know, in just doing my projects and stuff. It has to be my friend Seth. It has to be my best friend Seth. And you know, I think we all need friends like that, and just Seth has been that. Anyway, back to the story. Caught it with his leg, and he just like, and his girlfriend is there. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is, his girlfriend is actually in the shot, Becca. Everyone rushed around Seth, and I was just like, oh my gosh, because this is under my watch, okay? We actually used real axes and stuff like that, so the safety was really a matter of the machetes, the hatchets, the swords in there, they're all real. The swords aren't as sharp as, you know, maybe medieval times had it, but like they are real swords, and so we all used real stuff. It was really just a matter of precautions and just making sure that you didn't hit someone like physically. We had an entire plan out and stuff like that, so it was really, but it was me, it was on my part. It was 20 Minor Tonight. That was what this video was. It's my series, it's my watch that this happened on, and to see Seth nearly get his leg chopped off. And for as bad as it was, it could have been a worse, which I'm definitely glad for. But Seth did catch it with his leg, and I was like, Seth, if I was right then and there. It was like we already did like 2 hours, I believe, of work, pre-hand, at maybe 3. So it was a lot of work already building up, but it stopped in the middle of the shot. I'm doing my scene with Becca, and then we hear in the background, it's Seth, and he's starting limping away toward a tree. And I'm like, what happened? I was like, what happened? He caught an axe with his leg. And I was like, oh crap. So I was, at that moment, I was really prepared just to stop production, to stop shooting. I was actually prepared just to stop the video altogether. But Seth was like, no, dude, I'm good. I'm like, Seth, I asked Seth probably a million times. I was like, Seth, are you sure? He's like, dude, I want to do this. I want to finish this. Right after the shoot, he was like, okay, I gotta go to work. And he just leaves. And he's like, hey, Tony, can I take a shower at your place? Because I'm all bloody. I was like, yeah, go do that. And I think that was just the funniest thing in which he you know, his wound probably didn't need stitches, but it definitely wasn't something that you would want to go to work right afterward. And he was telling me with like the day after, I was like, hey Seth, how was work yesterday? He was like, oh, it was painful. There's this one story in which we were playing tag around this one neighborhood, and this was the point in which I barely knew Seth, and I didn't really like him because he he was so like me, sort of, that I was afraid that he was going to be like the new me in the group, even though I was homeschooled, and so he was homeschooled too, so I just felt like I was being rivaled there, so a rivalry going on. We were playing tag around the neighborhood, and he's running after me. I believe a ball goes over my head, he's running after that ball, and I'm like, you know, this is my good chance to show that I'm Tony, what up, right? And so I grab a recycling bin. You know, it's just an empty, and I actually don't like it was empty. It had like something in there. It had some weight, and I get it. And Seth is just running at me blindly. He's not looking at me, and I shove it right in front of his legs, and he just goes boom right over it. It was slow motion. I was like, you just go boom right over it. He just lands down on the ground like a rag doll, and he's just like, and I'm just like, hey buddy, you okay? He was pretty pissed off at me after that point. But after that point, we actually slowly became really good friends, and that's kind of how our friendship started. Yeah, it was just our friendship started on mutual pain. The pain of me being in trouble after my mom whipped my ass with a wooden spoon for doing that to Seth, and then Seth in the fact that a recycling bin took him down to the ground, and it was like sidewalk. And so, yeah, so those two painful things brought us together as friends. Okay, so there's this one time when we went to Forestburg, my grandparents' place, and so it was him, me and Seth, and then my brother Star, and we go hiking into the woods into the back place, sort of trespassing, sort of, onto private property. It's my grandparents' place. They have about 2 acres, but beyond that, there's like a lot more. So we go hiking out there sometimes, and we get down to this one creek area, this one creek bed, and Seth and I are talking. We're having a conversation, and then we suddenly, with my brother Star, he stops and he's like, guys, we look forward, and there's this huge bull, like, just cow bull staring us down in the creek, and he's black and he's menacing. It was like the scariest thing. You know, it's not very scary whenever you see a cow just like on a pasture or something, but like when a bull looks at you this way, in which he's like, you're on my land, it's pretty freaking scary. And Star was like, dude, everyone just back off slowly, and then Seth and I, we're already over the fence at this point, and we just did some parkour. Parkour was kind of a big thing with Seth and I. We were pretty always athletic, and Seth and I would always do parkour whenever we came to my house. Before we had video games and stuff, like good video games, we would always do parkour. We'd go outside and play parkour, and do parkour around the neighborhood. It wasn't good parkour, we couldn't do like backflips and stuff, but it was like monkey vaults and somersaults and other stuff like that. Yeah. Another good story is so Seth gets to my house, and we're planning to do another spin of the night. He's probably spent the night at my house probably like a good 100 times. I'm not over exaggerating there. Probably 100 times, like straight up. So we're doing this one. I'm gonna split this off into 2 stories because I think this is just funny, hilarious. So the first one is, it was in my old house. It was not this house. It was my older house. It was on 7503 Lilac Drive or something like that. And he gets to my house, and we have this really nice garage. Like I'm saying, it's renovated and stuff like that. It has bookshelves back there. It has a big plasma screen TV. No, actually, at the time, it wasn't a plasma screen TV. It was just a really big TV at the time, and we had my PlayStation. And we also had a mini fridge. I think Seth knows where I'm going with this now. Seth, if you're saying this, you know exactly where I'm going with this. So my mom, the day before, she heard about the stay the night, and she was like, "Oh yeah, let me go get some drinks." I'm like, "Is two cases of Coca-Cola good?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, that's really good." Apparently not, because I'm more of a, see, I'm not even an early bird or a late bird. I'm just like, I hate mornings. I also cannot stay up late at night. So I don't know what that puts me at, but yeah, I'm not a late owl, and I'm not a morning person. So I fell asleep really early. I fell asleep at like 10:30. Seth was still up. He was like playing. I was like, we play split screen of Modern Warfare, and we were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. We'll stay up all night doing this. I was like, yeah, Seth, I'm feeling pretty tired. He's like, okay, I want to fall asleep. Fall asleep. Get my sleeping bag. I'm like, hey dude, make yourself at home. Just have as many drinks as you want. Apparently he took that seriously, because by the time I woke up, he was still playing Modern Warfare campaign, and the way I woke up wasn't by him playing video games or the sound of a war in the background. It was the sound of Coca-Cola cans rolling around the garage. Like, I don't know how many are in a case. I believe it's 12. 24 of them just rolling around the place. I'm like, I look around, I'm like, Seth, did you stay up all night? He's like, yeah. Did those Coca-Colas help? He's like, yeah. I was like, so he literally stayed up all night drinking Coca-Cola. I wonder what he was like, just Seth. You know, it's just, Seth. That was one of the times, and then it's only the second time. This is about 4 years later. No, 5, give or take. He gets to my house. We're doing another spin night. Like I said, I think we already did a video. I believe we did an Assassin's Creed video together or something like that. No. Actually, we didn't do the Assassin's Creed video because we usually did that with Aiden. Yeah, he's in both of them, so it wasn't an Assassin's Creed video. It was something with Seth. I know that. But the next morning we go out and we have I had a skateboard. No, I had a bike and he had a skateboard. And so we go rolling around, at the alleyway. The alleyway that I'm sure you've seen before. We have an alleyway back there. And go over it. If you go over this one fence area, there's really nice, good pavement to skate around behind a building. This one, it's an Indo-Pac grocery store and a Goodyear tire shop. Really good. It's not a front parking lot, but it is a parking lot. I think it's just a really nice pavement. And it was like, that is what, if to think of pavement, that is the kind of pavement you want for a skateboard, because it's really nice for the wheels and the treads and just everything about it. So we go back there, and we're chilling around. No, we didn't have skateboards. No, we were just doing parkour. Like I said earlier, we're just doing parkour, and so we're just, yeah, we don't have any bikes or skateboards. Yeah, that was the last time. Okay, so but this time in the story, we were just doing parkour, and we were jumping from rail to rail. We were like, oh, nice, bro, nice wall run. I was like, yes. Doing parkour as we do. And then Seth does this one. He leaps onto this one railing area, and we start hearing something. We hear a PA speaker going off. I forgot what it said. The cops have been notified. They are on the way. You are trespassing. The cops have been notified. You are trespassing. And he just keeps doing that. And we're like, Seth and I look at each other. We're like, oh crap, we gotta get out of here. So we run. We don't have time to go around the fence. So what we have to do is there's this one drainage runoff area that has a little bit of a gap that we can crawl under. And so we slide underneath that place. And we go into my neighborhood. We're like, oh crap. We actually do hear police sirens coming around, but turns out they weren't for us. Like, police sirens, they don't turn that on for us. I'm pretty sure that PA speaker is just lying, just to get skaters and vagabonds out of there and parkourers. Out of there. But Seth and I get into the neighborhood and we're like, oh crap, dude, those are police. And Seth has this idea. No, it was Seth who had this idea. He was like, dude, we should turn our shirts inside out. So we turn our shirts inside out because just in case. His logic was, if the police had been notified, they would tell us what kind of clothes we had, where we were wearing, so that they could arrest us. So at the time, I thought it was a great idea. So I was like, so we turn our clothes inside out. I give him my jacket, he gives me his, and we turn our things inside out. It doesn't really make a big difference because we were wearing dark clothes that day, and so it was just getting the inside of it was still dark too. So it didn't change that much, but. And then we hear the police sirens on the interstate right here, and main road right here, and it's just the cops, and it just passes by. We're like, that's not for us, Seth. And he's like, oh yeah. Closing words for Seth. Been through some good times, some hard times, some times when we didn't like each other. Some times when we committed crimes together, you know, the best kind of friends. Shot AK-47s together, ran away from bulls, chased girls together, you know the works. And I will always be proud of those times, my friend. Nothing can take those away from me. You are my best friend, loyalist of friends, and I can't thank you enough, man. Hopefully you come to California after you get back to China. We'll see. And we can hang out, make some more videos there. And yeah, man, I'll catch you later, okay?